in the last few days, there is this Nissan Match that I bought, and you guys have been commenting so much on YouTube. I bought it like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And then on Monday, today is a Friday. So on Monday, like 5 days down the line, on Monday I had gone to buy some tires at Auto Express. So Auto Express, I know you guys know it quite well, is one of the most popular car service station in Nairobi. So I usually do my car services there, and I also like buying spare parts and tires from Auto Express because they have good deals and discounts for taxi vehicles. So if your car is a registered Uber vehicle, then you can go there and get your spare parts and tires at a discount of up to 30%. So on Monday, I bought two tires to replace the front wheels. So I bought them, and I was very keen on what the service technician was doing. So he opened the nuts, he dropped the whole rim together with the tire, he removed the old tires. I actually was trying to inspect the old tires and see how many punctures they have had, because nowadays when punctures are being repaired, there is a rubber that they insert where there was a hole. So when the tire is removed from the rim, then you look at the inside part of the tire, you'll be able to see how many punctures that car has had. So I was just trying to see how was that car previously used, and I was surprised that the front tires were actually worn out, but in one of the tires there was no single puncture. So that was something very crazy for me just to notice from it. But back to my story. So I replaced two tires, the front tires. And then today being a Friday, I don't know, out of curiosity, I just decided to walk around the car, okay, before I left my house. So when I walked around, I realized that in one of the tires that was replaced like 3 4 days ago, it was bulging out. So there is a section that was a bit inflated more than the other. So it was like squeezing itself out, and it was clear that something was not right. So I was like, "What? Kwani, which brand of tire did I buy?" Within like 3 4 days, the tire is almost bursting out, and actually I had not gone to the air centers to refill the air in the tire, so there was no risk of overinflating. I am very keen because I had not hit any pavement, so I just drove like a kilometer to go and see a guy who attends to tires along Kasarani Mweki Road. So if you know Pale Naivas, or right opposite Shell petrol station, Pale Mweki Road, right opposite there is a guy who attends to tires. He does punctures, repairs, and also he sells tires. So I told him what's happening to my tire because it is bulging out. You know what he told me? He told me the person who fixed it when you bought it, the person who fitted it, he he interfered with the wires, and he actually torn or destroyed some wires. So that's why some areas of that tire has a weakness, and that's why it's bulging out. So immediately I tried to think what was happening at Auto Express. Actually nilifanya ile Auto Express ya pale Kamiti Road, those people who know, pale Mirema. So I tried to reverse my memory when that tire was being fixed. Auto Express, they are very well equipped with with machines to make their work easy. So when they want to lift your car up, they don't have to put the things that you turn on manually to just lift your car. So then they have hydraulic systems that can lift your car up to this high. Within a minute, they check the issue, and then they tell you what is the issue. So when I bought those two tires, the service technician who was fitting them, I remember very well that when fitting one tire to the rim, it took him like 10 minutes. And then two other colleagues of his just passed by, and I saw them like peeping or just trying to look at what he was doing. And they looked a bit curious, and I was like, okay, let me leave them do their job. In any case, they are the experts. And then when he was fitting the second tire, it took less than a minute because there is a machine where they just put the rim, and then they place the tire on. Then it is like within like 10-15 seconds, the tire is fitted into the rim. But I remember very well the first tire, it took more than like 10 minutes. And then he was trying even to fit it manually using a steel lever, but it didn't click into my mind that something could have gone wrong. So when that technician today told me that the one who fitted the tire interfered with the wires and actually destroyed the tire, then all those memories came to my mind, because anytime a service technician is around my car, I'm always seated at an angle where I can see what is happening. So I drove straight to Mirema, to Auto Express, and I requested to view the CCTV camera before I raised my case. So I invited the person in charge there. I told them, I want you to view this video with me. Let us roll back until Monday at around 5 p.m. So that's when I was changing the tires. So we went through video minute by minute, second by second, and actually they realized that while the story I wanted to tell them was actually true, it took like 15 minutes to fix one tire, while the other one was fitted within like a minute. And then I told them, I want a replacement. And that is the best thing of doing service in well-recognized service station. Because when they viewed that, they actually now said, let us enroll this car for another inspection. We just see what is wrong with the tire. So they mounted the car into their hydraulic system. It was lifted up. They removed the whole wheel, so the tire and the rim, then removed the tire, and just, I'm telling you, the technician had completely interfered with the wires, and actually that tire was going to burst in the next 50 kilometers that I was to travel. And it was so unfortunate that he saw the damage he did to that tire and how much risk it was exposing me to, but he never said it. But that is a story for them to sort out. But I was very happy because after they watched that CCTV and listened to my story, of course, I don't know what theory they used and believed that very quickly. They said there is no way a tire can be fixed within 15 minutes unless there was an issue. So the failure of that tire was not due to my improper use of vehicle, and they immediately gave me another tire. So the baseline of this video and what I'm trying to tell you is that when you take your car to the garage, okay, just make sure that you are very, very keen on what the technician is doing. No matter how much you trust them, you need to understand that technicians are not always sure about what they are doing. Sometimes they will do trial and errors. So in that case, when it is a trial and error kind of diagnosis, make sure that you are aware that it was a trial and error. Don't go home believing that your problem was sorted or solved while the guy was still just trying it out. Other times I have realized that these technicians and mechanics, they don't fit back everything into position. When I bought that car, the same Nissan March, I took it for a holistic wash. So inside, because as you saw, the seats were very dirty, the roof was not clean. So when it was fitted back, I found some nuts on the seat. And the guy was in the car wash, they were telling me the car is clean, you can come and pick it. But when I went there to pick it, there were like three nuts on the seat, and I was wondering, where did these nuts come from? Why were those bolts not returned back to their position? In as much as everything might seem very, 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 very good at this point, but over time, the car will start running loose. So I told them I need all these things put back into their position. And actually, I was there to see where were those gaps, in which nuts were those bolts not fitted. You get my point. So I sat there and I made sure that it took another like 2 hours to dismount or to remove some of the parts that they had already fitted, to make sure that those nuts get back into their appropriate places. So the same thing when you even take your car to the garage. I have realized that a lot of mechanics are not keen. And I have seen this with all my cars. They will put all the nuts down, but when they fit back everything, a few items will remain on the ground. And you'll be wondering, it was not a replacement, it was not like an exchange, but something must be left missing in your car. And over time, if those things happen over a period of time, then your car will start definitely responding to those kind of vandalism, even if it is not theft, but there are some things that are being taken away from the car. So always, even when you take your car into the car wash, before that guy handles you the key and you go away, just check and make sure that everything is in position, especially the loose items. For example, the car mat, the maybe the things that you put, below just the, I don't know whether there is a small place, or like a small drawer where you put your items within the car. Just make sure, for any avoidance of doubt, that you verify that everything is in position. And just in case you have doubts later, at least you remember that you inspected and things were in position at that point when you got your car. So let me tell you guys, me, I have had several cars, and like, even my wife always tells me that I always pay too much attention to almost everything, even to things that do not count. Why I have not had issues with my cars, I think it's because I'm always very keen on things that are happening around them, so that even if those things don't matter, when they will come to matter later, then I will at least have some information that I gathered when I paid attention. And also, we all agree that it is better to pay attention and realize later that it wasn't necessary, than failing to do so and later realize that you needed to have paid attention, but that moment is gone and you have nothing to to look back and verify. So I got my tire replaced because I paid attention for just a few minutes when my tires were being replaced. Otherwise, I'm telling you, I don't know where I could have started. Maybe I could have said it's because I gave that car to a guy and then he hit a pavement. So many stories could have built up. But now, because I went back, and because of attention that I even paid unconsciously, I was just there observing, but there is actually the back of your head. If people tell you put that information somewhere at the back of your head, actually now I realize there is a place called back of your head. You will see things that will not make sense to you at that point, but later in life, you'll encounter situations that will remind you of that moment when you paid attention. So, guys, when you take your car to the garage or to the car wash, follow the technician, walk around with them, make sure that you are keen on whatever they are touching, whatever they are doing, so that later, if anything comes up, you will be aware that something had been touched. Then stay alert and stay very, very keen. Make sure that every item that has been removed is put back to its right position. And then ask questions. I know nowadays mechanics are like doctors. Even my friend, my best mechanic who attends to all my cars, he doesn't love being asked questions. Every time you ask him, what is this? What is that? Like, it's just like doctors. Doctors don't want you to ask so many questions. They want you to tell your story and let them make a recommendation according to their understanding. But they don't want you to, like, now become too generalistic in the questions you are understanding, because you might force them to give information that is unverified. So the same thing with the mechanics. They will avoid as much as possible to explain a lot of things to you. So, but make sure you ask questions. To some extent, you will also understand whether these are guys who can answer your questions or not. So some of them don't answer because of a decision made by them. Maybe they are busy doing their stuff and they don't want to talk a lot, or they don't want to give information that is not as accurate. But others, they don't want to answer because simply they have no answers. So it's for you to determine, is the mechanic actually up to the task? So keep asking questions, and I hope, guys, by watching this video, you will learn a thing or two. Bye for now.